we've had nothing to play for a little while now. It's the perfect opportunity for some of these youngsters to be getting minutes. I mean, I didn't see the game on Saturday. I was working, but I was disappointed to look and see Jake Burton has sat on the bench and not got any minutes. And, like these are the sort of players that I just think, we've probably had, what do you think, sort of 7-8 games where we've had nothing to play for, where we've probably had a complete free shot to give people like Jake Burton, Sam Taylor, these sort of guys minutes. And Sam Taylor's come in and impressed on Saturday from what I've heard. He's obviously got the goal. Yeah, we all saw that interview on Twitter, which I think sort of was, a nice watch, to see his enthusiasm for getting that first professional goal. But it's just, it's been an opportunity to give young players minutes. And I think Saturday, we all want a positive result, but let's be honest, the old experienced pros that we've got in there haven't really been putting in consistent performances. So I wouldn't sit there and say it would be a big negative to move a few of them out and bring in a couple of the younger lads, because I think that sort of youth and exuberance might just give us something that we've been missing throughout the season. So in terms of maybe what I'd like to change, I'd like to see guys like Sam Taylor and Jake Burton and guys get a start and give them an hour or give them the full 90 minutes and let's see what let's see a bit more about what they're capable of.
And you're right, it's this time of the season where you often, when there's nothing to play for, see these guys get a run. I think we all, of a certain age, fondly remember Craig Curran scoring that hat-trick against Brighton, I want to say it was, on the last day of the 2006-07 season. Was it Brentford? I knew it begin with BR. And there have been other players who've been given debuts at this time of the season. I don't know why, but Ollie James sticks out, played against Doncaster on the final day of the 05-06 season when Brian Little had left and Jason McAteer had been put in charge. And obviously, I think Mickey Adams handed out a few debuts. Or sorry, not Mickey Adams. It had been Rodgers and Garnett handed out a few debuts on the final day of the 14-15 season. This is a chance now to just... not with the pressure off, because there is still a little bit of pressure on given the context of the game, but give these players a run and make a decision really once and for all over whether they're good enough. I'm not suggesting that's the case with Taylor, but with someone like Burton, it has to be now coming towards the D-Day time. Is it right for him to be staying at Tranmere for his future and for Tranmere's future as well?
Well, like you said, I think there's a nice element of pressure to Saturday's game. There's no pressure from Tranmere's point of view because, let's be honest, whether Tranmere win or lose makes absolutely very little difference to Tranmere. But there's a nice pressure in terms of there's going to be 2,500 Northampton fans behind one of the goal, invariably making a hell of a lot of noise. The Sky cameras are going to be there. And, if I was Ian Dawes and Parkinson, I'd be saying to guys like Jake Burton and Sam Taylor, I'm going to give them a start. This is a great stage for you to go and show not just us, but everybody watching at home what you're capable of. Like I say, there's no huge amount of pressure on them. They can express themselves. They can take risks. They can try things. They can try and win the game, try and change the game. Like I say, I think there's a nice amount of pressure there with the cameras and the crowd that will be there from Northampton. That will, like I say, for people like Jake Burton, sink or swim. Go and show us what you're made of. Go and put in a big performance and show us that you're somebody that Tranmere should be, putting more work and more resources in over to the next couple of years. Or, if you can't sort of thrive in that environment of the cameras and the crowd, that away following, then, like you say, maybe you're not cut out to be a Tranmere Rovers player moving forward. But this is a great opportunity, I think, for us to see that from some of these players.
Absolutely. Let's look at things moving forward then. There are a lot of players over whom a decision needs to be made regarding their future. Of course, Burton being one of them, because they are out of contract at the end of the season. Look, some players, the decision is pretty straightforward. For someone like a Josh Cogley, you offer him a contract and you just hope that he will sign it, given how unlikely that might be. It probably won't happen, but you've got to try and keep your best players if you can. So you offer someone like Cogley a contract, but there are other players coming towards the end of their time who it's quite difficult to make a decision over whether they're going to stay because we don't know who the manager is going to be. And ultimately that decision should be down to the manager, shouldn't it?
Yeah, this is the problem. We've all, in an ideal world, hoped that a manager would have come in before the end of this season just to get a few games to look at the players, see what they're capable of. And then from there, that man can make an informed decision on which players are going to be part of his plans moving forward and which players, he doesn't deem sort of up to standard. That hasn't happened. We obviously don't know about the conversations that have gone on behind closed doors. It may well be that an agreement in principle has been come to, and that there is somebody sort of looking at the players and looking at the squad. We don't know, but it would appear at the moment that we don't have a manager lined up. That's the sort of feeling amongst the fan bases, that we haven't come to that decision yet. But yeah, it would have been good for somebody to have, like I say, had a good look at the players and seen what they're capable of. There's a lot of players out of contract, aren't there? And there's a lot of players that, I think one thing I'd say about this squad is we've got a lot of players who I think have got a lot of ability. I think of players like Leo Connor. I think of players like Chris Merry, Kane Hemmings. I think these guys have got a lot of ability to be players that can take a team out of League Two, but they just don't do it consistently enough for me. Players like I say, Leo Connor, Chris Merry, they will have good games. They will show really bright sparks, but they'll also just put in really poor performances. And I think that's what we've got to look at is, when the new manager looks at these sort of players, does he think they're the type of players that he can get the best out of and get consistent performances out of?